One other thing skeptics often say is that we shouldn't be talking about these things because NDEs romanticize death. You see a warm, loving being of light, you're with God, you're with deceased loved ones. Who wouldn't want that? You're going to make people suicidal. There have now been 3 different studies, 3 different teams that have published studies of people who had attempted suicide and looking at those who had NDEs as a result and those people who didn't. And all 3 research teams found the same thing, that people who had NDEs as a result of a suicide attempt were much less suicidal afterwards than those who didn't have NDEs. Now, with the study that we did, we asked, why? What about the NDE made you less suicidal? And we found almost as many answers as there were subjects in the study. But in order of decreasing frequency, this is what they said. The most common thing they said was, now I'm part of something greater than myself. Or now I know that I am. I always was, I didn't know it before. And therefore, I'm less concerned with my own personal failures and losses. The things that happen to this bag of skin aren't the important thing. They felt an enhanced sense of the meaningness of life. They felt more alive. They had more self-esteem. They were more attached to others. And then with decreasing frequency, they talked about the fact that everything is going to happen whether you try to kill yourself or not. You're not going to be able to escape. They use the life review to reevaluate their life and so forth. So there were many reasons why people became less suicidal after an NDE. So this brings us to the question of the after effects. There have been many, many studies now of how NDEs affect people. This was pioneered by Ken Ring in his book back in 1980, Life and Death, and his 84 book, The Omega Project, in which he outlined in study after study the positive after effects of NDEs. And basically what many studies have shown is that NDEs increase people's sense of spirituality, their concern and compassion for others, their appreciation for life, their sense of meaning and purpose in life, their self-confidence, their flexibility in being able to cope with stressors, and their belief that they're going to survive death of the body. Now, while we have these attitudes increasing, we also have other attitudes decreasing. And most common is the fear of death. Now, many people, when they tell them this, they say, well, I wasn't ever afraid of death. That's nonsense. Our society is full of fear of death, but it's so subtle, we don't pick it up. And it takes someone like Woody Allen to tell us when it's there. So we find that while NDEers have increased spirituality, love of life, compassion, they also have decreases in fear of death, decreased interest in material possessions, in personal power, prestige, status, fame, decreased competitiveness. And this has been shown in study after study after study.